So if you see synapses, this is just a simple structure of synapse where two neurons attach to each other. This is presynaptic membrane. This is postsynaptic. Okay, ये तो समझ में आ रहा है?
यस सर।
ओके,
हाँ
तो
जी सर।
अब इसमें कनेक्शंस होते हैं, केमिकल ट्रांसमिट होता है, यहाँ से यहाँ जाता है। अगर डायरेक्ट कनेक्ट कर लेते तो भी तो ट्रांसमिट हो जाता। तो व्हाई वी नीड अ सेपरेट मैकेनिज्म एज अ सिनेप्स? इट्स ओके, अगर नहीं आता कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, पर सोचो, थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेच करो।
सर ये केमिकल सिग्नल्स और इलेक्ट्रिकल सिग्नल्स की बेस पे होगा।
हाँ, तो क्या डिफरेंस है? सही बोल रहे हो, देयर इज अ डिफरेंस, द केमिकल सिग्नल्स एंड इलेक्ट्रिकल सिग्नल्स। नाउ व्हाट हैपन, आवर ब्रेन्स आर मेड अप ऑफ ट्रिलियंस ऑफ न्यूरॉन्स, और वो सारे न्यूरॉन्स एक दूसरे से कनेक्टेड होते हैं, एंड ईच न्यूरॉन्स मेक सिनेप्सेस ऑलमोस्ट 100 to 1000 with different neurons. Yes, Ali? Ali, you want to ask something?
Sir, by mistakenly I raised my hand.
Okay.
Sorry sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, what we'll do, we'll first take attendance. There are almost many students. So, 1 minute. This is group 7 to 12. Hello?
Yes, sir.
It is group 7 to 12, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there is a two type of conduction, electrical conduction होता है और chemical conduction होता है. There are many synapses present in our brain. Not only our brain, also in spinal cord, the other side nervous system contain millions of the synapses. So major function of the synapse is it either increase the amount of signal or decrease the amount of signals, or it can inhibit those signal transmission. So it actually modify the signal transmission. जैसे अभी आपको पेन हो रहा है, तो receptor are stimulated and it get sends the pain sensation to the brain. Brain will decide whether that pain sensation is very important or less important. Accordingly, it can increase the intensity of pain synapses, pain sensations, or decrease the intensity of the pain sensations, and depend upon. Or sometimes too much pain can also be harmful to our body. So sometimes it also decrease more pain, and that is called analgesia. And all those things occur because of presence of synapses. So why we need synapses is to modulate the functions of signal transmissions. It is not straight कि एक जगह से चला गया दूसरी जगह पे चला गया, and it has its own effect. So in brain, at many level where synapses occurs, the signals get modified, and for that we need this chemical transmission. Second important thing, this direct connection होगा तो both direction होगा, A to B चला जाएगा, B to A भी आ जाएगा, but synapses are usually unidirectional. So signal always transmit from the one neuron, A neuron, to B neuron. Reverse transmission नहीं होता. That's why we need synapses. Understand?
Yes, sir.
यस सर।
And that's why we need to understand the physiology of synapses. Once you understand the physiology of synapses, then then we can understand the various functions of the CNS. So we'll start with the synapses. So first we'll see the synapses is just a functional junction between two neurons. Functional means if there is active, then only we call it a synapses. If that junction doesn't transmit the signal, then that is not a synapses. So anatomically, synapses described in different time. There can be a synapse occur from axon to dendrites, and is one of the commonest type of the synapses. Axon is a sending agent, while dendrites are receiver side. So there is very common type of the synapses from axon of the one neuron to the dendrites of the other neuron. So this is example of exodendritic synapses. Second is axosomatic synapses. So axons is directly synapsed with the body of the neurons. That is axosomatic neurons. Last is axoaxonic. This is a very rare type of the synapses. It's not seen in much commonly, but these do present, and where the both axon of the one neuron synapse with the axon of the other neurons. So that is what axoaxonic synapses. If you come to the physiological type of synapses, there are three types of synapses. One is chemical synapses, which is the commonest type of the synapses where transmissions occur because of the neurotransmitters, and they are more vulnerable to fatigue on repeated stimulus, and because of exhaustion of the neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitter exhausted, and that leads to fatigue. Then there will be synaptic delay because chemical reactions occur, and to transmit signal from one neuron to other neuron, it will take little bit more time as compared to electrical transmission of the synapses. So it creates little bit delay. And as I said, it is unidirectional. So it always goes from A to B, and it never reverse from B to A. Okay. So opposite direction nahi hota, they are always unidirectional. Then electrical synapses, here it is nothing but the gap junction between two neurons. So here is a neurotransmitter occur, there almost electrical potential transmitted from the, so they are like a functionally fused with each other, and there is a gap junction here, and transmission directly goes from one neurons to other neurons without using any chemical for transmission of the synapse signal. And that type of rarely seen very less position, like you can see it is in a cerebellum, that electrical type of the synapses. Advantage of having electrical synapses is that it is very fast. So if you are electrical synapses, responses can be increased and it's very fast. But disadvantage, it cannot modify the signals, and there is no synaptic delay, or it is both directional. And this type of conduction is also called as the electrotonic conduction. Then come to the conjoint synapses. These are the chemical synapses when we keep on repeatedly stimulating repeatedly, and now that causes a direct connection between two synapses, and now it can transmit chemically also and electrically also. These are also rare type of the synapses. These are called conjoint synapses. So this this is also called plasticity. So chemical synapses है, and if you keep on repeatedly stimulate those synapses, one point will come, it will become converted into electrical synapses. These are conjoint synapses, and this is also called the plasticity of the synapses. So now the synapse will become plastic, rigid. Now it is not going to change. Okay. Out of these, chemical synapses is the common type of the synapses, and what is synaptic functions we'll study in all those things, they are related to chemical. So from here onward, we'll talk only about chemical synapses. Any questions regarding the classification or anything? Any doubt?
Sir, please repeat the conjoint synapses.
Conjoint synapses is previously it is a chemical synapses. When we keep on repeatedly stimulating, just example, आप memory be stored in the form of synapses. So whenever you read anything on those things, that will form synapses in our brain. So in the form of synapses only memory is stored. Now if you keep on reading the same topic repeatedly, now your chemical synapses will be keep on doing transmission continuously. And one point will come that synapses will now physically change, and now they produce a gap junction, and now transmission of between the synapses is not occur through the chemical transmission, but it occur through the electrical transmission. So previously chemical synapses tha, now it converted into electrical synapses, that is called conjoined synapses. So which are the property of both chemical transmission also and electrical transmission also. Okay.
Okay.
So now come to the chemical synapses. Here now we'll only talk about the chemical synapses. So this is a basic anatomical structure of the chemical synapses. This is presynaptic knob and this is postsynaptic knob, and this gap between this knob is called synaptic cleft. Okay. So first we'll talk about the presynaptic knob, or also called as the synaptic button. So each synapse is divided into presynaptic, postsynaptic, and separated by the synaptic cleft. So that's presynaptic knob is also called synaptic knob, or synaptic button, or axon button, or axon terminal. Okay, this synaptic knob is a enlarged portion, but axon is not simple. I guess neurons का structure आपको पढ़ाया नहीं अब तक. Hello.
Sorry, sir.
Neurons पढ़े हैं आपने?
नहीं सर.
No, sir.
No,
No, sir.
सर
So,
नहीं पढ़ा है ना सर.
हाँ हाँ ठीक है, समझ गया. एक ने बोल दिया समझ गया. Okay. So if you see the neuron structure, here we'll talk about. So there is a body and long axon. Okay. Body has a multiple dendroids. This is not exactly how you draw neurons, but just to understand you, I'm a simple way. And if you come to the axons, at the end, axon will have multiple branches. Okay, and each branch will have dilated portion. दिख नहीं रहा है यहाँ पे. Okay, 1 minute. So at the end, axon will be have multiple small branches. And each axon will have dilated portion. That dilated portion is called synaptic button, or axon terminal, or axonic nerve. And this dilated portion will synapse with the next portion. Understand? That dilated portion एक ही नहीं होता, एक्सॉन में बहुत सारे होते हैं, and उसी का स्ट्रक्चर हम एनलार्ज करेंगे. तो दिस वाज दैट एनलार्ज स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ दिस synaptic knob. Okay, so each synaptic knob is enlarged extension of the axon terminal, and they are rich in the mitochondria. So there is a very high concentration of the mitochondria. Microtubules are also attached there, which carries neurotransmitter, which is synthesized in the body of the neurons and bring it to here. So synthesis neurotransmitter also contain. Then there are various vesicles are present, and these vesicles contain neurotransmitters. Each neuron will have only one type of the neurotransmitters. ऐसा नहीं कि उसमें एक ही neurons में दो चार अलग अलग neurotransmitter हो गए. So depend upon the which type of the neurotransmitters synthesized in that neuron, they are also called like cholinergic neurons, or adrenergic neuron, dopaminergic neuron, serotonergic neuron, depend upon the which chemical they synthesize, GABAergic neuron. So whatever the neurotransmitter synthesized, with that type only they are named by those neurons. So that type of those in these synaptic vesicles, those neurons will be present, and it can contain excitatory neurotransmitter, or it can contain inhibitory neurotransmitter, depend upon the what type of the neuron it is. Then there is a portion which attached to the synaptic cleft, and that is called presynaptic membrane. This presynaptic membrane is a little bit enlarged, thickened, and it this synaptic vesicle usually come and attach to this presynaptic membrane and release neurotransmitter into the synaptic cleft. So that is the basic function of this presynaptic membrane. Okay, and then various calcium channels are present nearby here. So lots of calcium channels are there. So when action potential goes, it opens the calcium channels and increase the calcium entry into the cell. So what is the function of mitochondria? Whatever action potential occur and all those things, it reverses the ion exchange what are occurring here, and also these mitochondria utilize for the synthesis of more neurotransmitters and also reuptake of the neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitter जो भी यहाँ पे release होगा, it can also reuptake by the same synapses. So वापस ले लेगा and that can be recycled again. Okay, and this is what a presynaptic structure. Then come to the presynaptic membrane. It is, as I said, it is a thicker axonal membrane, and which is the cytoplasm is usually dense here, and that provide the site for the attachment of the synaptic vesicles. Then come to synaptic cleft. It is a gap between the presynaptic knob and postsynaptic knob, and that gap somewhere 20 to 40 nanometer, and it is made up of the extracellular fluid which contain high concentration of the glycoprotein, and that make their consistency more viscous. So यहाँ पे जो fluid होगा they easily flow नहीं होगा with other any other flow. So they will be more stable here. So this is more viscous. So when neurotransmitter release, they will be stay here for little bit longer time. अगर glycoproteins नहीं होते तो it can easily move away, but it will take little bit longer time to move away from here. So the glycoprotein gives more viscosity to the fluid present in a synaptic cleft. Then come to the postsynaptic cleft. It is a spike like a extension of the dendrites. So if you see, these are the, suppose this is the body, and from here, sorry, suppose this is the body, from here the dendrites are released. So and this is a little bit enlarged portion of the dendrites. So synapse not occur like यहाँ पे end पे होगा, यहाँ पे dendrites पे axon लग गया. It is not like that. Okay. So how synapse occurs? Dendrites contain various spikes process, multiple spikes process, and each spike process will have this extension. The spikes जो आप enlarge करोगे तो it will look like this cup-like structure, and on that cup axon will attach. So एक dendrite can also attach with the hundreds of the different axons. With the spikes potential, if you see, it is a saucer-like stretch, and their cell membrane close to the synaptic cleft is also become a dense because of accumulation of the cytoplasm. And this postsynaptic membrane contain high number of the receptors. Like if this neurotransmitter release acetylcholine, then have receptor for the acetylcholine. If the receptor for this neuron is adrenergic, then receptor for the adrenaline. And this basically these receptors are of two different types. Either they can be ion channels, and we call it as a ligand gated channels. So it can be sodium, it can be potassium, it can be chloride ion channels. And whenever the chemical attached to these receptors, it opens the channels and increase the permeability of membrane to particular that ion. So suppose that receptor is sodium ion channels, so it will open the sodium ions and it will increase the entry of the sodium inside the postsynaptic membrane, and that will cause increase in a membrane potential. The second, if it is a potassium ion channels, then what will happen? Potassium ion channel will open, and now since the potassium ion concentration is more inside the cell as compared to outside, so there is an outward flow of the potassium through this potassium ion channel, and that will cause decrease in the membrane potential. Similarly, chloride ion concentration is more outside and less inside. So whenever the chloride ion channel opens, so chloride ion enter into the cell, and that will again decrease the membrane potential. So ion channel which has a sodium receptors, then it causes excitation of the postsynaptic potential membrane. While if it open the potassium channel or chloride channel, it will causes inhibition of the postsynaptic membrane. Then come to the other type of the receptor, present enzymatic type of the receptors, which activate cellular genes, and that particular cellular gene will either produce a particular protein. That can be a receptor, or that can be a kinase protein, or that can be a cyclic AMP protein or anything, and that increases the activation of the particular mechanism within the cell, and that can either increase permeability to the sodium or increase permeability to potassium chloride or calcium, or decrease permeability to potassium calcium, and this is how it will affect the membrane potential. Similarly, it activates the protein kinase, and that can activate a calcium system, and that can either increase the permeability to the calcium or decrease the permeability to the calcium or other any ions. And this is how it will change the permeability of the cell membrane and affect either decrease in the membrane potential or increase in the membrane potential. And this is if they decrease membrane potential, they are inhibitory type of the stimulus, or if we increase the membrane potential, they are excitatory type of the stimulus. Okay, understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So इसका स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो किसी को लेना होगा तो. There are two type of the synapses, type 1, type 2. ले लिया?
Yes, sir.
इसमें कुछ समझाने वाली बात नहीं, आप पढ़ लेना इसको. It is just a difference between the two type of the different synapses. This is more important. Chemical transmission. How the chemical transmission occur in the synapses, or also called as a synaptic transmission. So it occurs in the four steps. One is release of neurotransmitter. Second step is development of the postsynaptic potential. It can be either excitatory or it can be inhibitory. Next step is the removal of the neurotransmitter, and last and most important is development of action potential. Okay, so first we'll talk how the neurotransmitter release. So whenever action potential generated in the body and it carries to the axon, whenever action potential generated in the body and it carries to the axon, so axon से इधर आएगा and it will come up to end of the post terminal, and that action potential generated in a presynaptic terminal, and that will cause the depolarization of the whole presynaptic membrane. So when it causes depolarization at the synaptic membrane, यहाँ पे synaptic membrane है, यहाँ पे depolarization जब हो जाएगा, so it open various presence of voltage gated calcium channel nearby, and those calcium channel will increase entry of the calcium into the cell. That will increase permeability, the increase entry of the calcium inside the cell or axon, presynaptic knob. So whenever the calcium entry is increasing the presynaptic knob, that causes a increased concentration of the calcium inside the cytoplasm of the axon, and that will initiate the exocytosis of the vesicles. ये पता है ना exocytosis होता है calcium से?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When we talked about this membrane transport, उसमें हम exocytosis में बताते. We used to talk about this how exocytosis is executed. So whenever increase in the calcium concentration, that will causes the exocytosis of the vesicles, and vesicles will move towards the presynaptic membrane, and they just forms a small hole in the cell membrane and release the neurotransmitter in presynaptic membrane, and immediately they move away. So it is like a consider. So this is a presynaptic membrane, and these are vesicles. So vesicle will come whenever there is high calcium concentration. They will come here, and they will just touch. And moment they touch, the hole will form, and they will release the neurotransmitter. और जैसे neurotransmitter release होगा, again they will go back. So it will be for very small duration, and that's why there many times it is called kiss and run discharge of the neurotransmitters. Okay, so that will only for small duration only neurotransmitter release, and again it go back. If calcium concentration is keep high in a presynaptic nerve, again those vesicles will come and keep on kissing and releasing the neurotransmitter to the presynaptic membrane. And this phenomena is also called as a Dell's phenomena, where neurotransmitter usually released in the presynaptic membrane only. So it is never like a neurotransmitter release in postsynaptic membrane. It is always released in a presynaptic membrane, and that phenomena is described by scientist Dales. That's why it is called Dales phenomena. Now, once the neurotransmitter releases into the presynaptic membrane, it goes into the presynaptic cleft, and then it moves towards the postsynaptic membrane, and it can bind to the postsynaptic receptor. And for this whole process, it will take almost less than 1 millisecond, and that is how it causes a synaptic delay for neurotransmitter. Okay, समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Now next, what happened to the postsynaptic membrane? So whenever there is a neurotransmitter release and attached to the देखने दो मुझे एक मिनट. Okay. So whenever neurotransmitter release and attached to the receptor of the postsynaptic membrane, it can either open sodium channel or calcium channel, or it can open potassium channel or chloride channel. Okay. So whenever it opens sodium channel or calcium channel, it will causes increase entry of the sodium or calcium inside the cell, and that will increase the membrane potential. So whenever there is increase in the membrane potential, we call it as a excitatory postsynaptic potential, and this is more related to the like a local potential. This is not action potential. So एक सिनेप्टिक स्टिमुलस करने से कभी एक्शन पोटेंशियल जनरेट नहीं होता है, ये ध्यान में रखना कि आपने इधर से एक एक्शन पोटेंशियल सिग्नल ट्रांसमिट कर दिया और नेक्स्ट सिग्नल इस पे सिनेप्स जाके अगले इसमें immediately it created action potential. This doesn't happen. So at one synapses, it just make a small changes, and that is called local potential. And when it is related to synapses, we call it as a postsynaptic potential. So it is usually causes excitatory postsynaptic potential. And this excitatory postsynaptic potential is conducted in the surrounding membrane. So as I said, this is a dendrites of the, and there is spikes. स्पाइक्स पे हमने यहाँ पे सपोज सिनेप्स हो गया, एक्साइटेटरी पोस्ट पोटेंशियल हो गया, तो इट विल सेंड द इंपल्सेस ऑन बोथ साइड नियर बाय एरियाज. ओके, और जैसे दूर दूर जाएगा वो धीरे धीरे कम होके खत्म होता जाएगा. ओके, जैसे टाइम पास होगा वैसे भी वो धीरे धीरे खत्म होता जाएगा. ओके, सो इट इज ऑलवेज क्रिएट इन पोस्टैरिटी पोटेंशियल, इट नेवर क्रिएट एक्शन पोटेंशियल. सो एक्शन पोटेंशियल कैसे होता है? हाउ द एक्शन पोटेंशियल जनरेटेड? कोई आइडिया है? It occurs because of summation of the excitatory postsynaptic potential. Now consider, okay, now consider this is a big soma and that different dendrites. अभी मैं spikes नहीं निकालूंगा, we'll consider dendrites पे. तो यहाँ पे इस dendrite को stimulate हो गया, A dendrite को stimulate हो गया, A dendrite को stimulate हो गया, A dendrite को stimulate हो गया, and these all dendrites created the excitatory postsynaptic potential, and that will transconducted in the body of the cell membrane of the neurons. So इधर से एक conduct हो गया, this conduct, and this all will add up, and this added up will goes, and if it goes above minus 55 millivolt, means 15 millivolt के ऊपर चला गया membrane potential. Minus 70 is a resting membrane potential, and if we add up plus 15 millivolt, so it goes up to minus 55 millivolt. Once that resting membrane potential occurs, it opens the voltage gated sodium channels present in axon iliac. That voltage gated sodium channel is open in axon iliac, and it produces action potential in axon iliac. If you know the structure of the neurons, dendrites में action potential नहीं होता है, soma में action potential नहीं होता. Action potential generated at the junction between the axon and body. That is called axon helioc. Okay, so it produces the action potential in the axon helioc by summiting the action postsynaptic potentials. Okay, and this mechanism is called summation. अब समझ में आ रहा?
Yes, sir.
एक्शन पोटेंशियल कैसे जनरेट होता है? एक स्टिमुलस से नहीं होता. देयर हैज टू बी मल्टीपल stimulus, then only action potential will be generated. Okay, now there are two types of the summations. One is temporal and another is spatial. 1 minute. Temporal, when we stimulate the same synapse, एक ही synapses को multiple times stimulate करते रहेंगे, then the same synapses will keep on sending the memory potential, and each time it will keep on increasing the memory potential. It can goes up to firing level minus 55, and then it can generate the action potential. That is called temporal summations. Spatial summations, when multiple synapses stimulated simultaneously. That is called temporal stimulus. समझ में आ रहा है? टेम्पोरल में एक ही
Yes,
जगह
sir.
होती है, टाइम अलग अलग होता है, मतलब कंटिन्यूअसली स्टिमुलस करते हैं. पर स्पेशल में देयर मल्टीपल साइट्स जहाँ पे एक ही समय स्टिमुलस करते हैं. तो इन स्पेशल सेम टाइम, इन टेम्पोरल सेम साइट. समझ में आ रहा है? अपोजिट.
जी sir.
Yes, sir.
Then come to the inhibitory postsynaptic potential. This actually causes a decrease in the memory potential, or also called as the hyperpolarization of the membrane. So there is it is occur because of the either opening of the potassium channel or opening of the chloride channel, and where if potassium channel opens, potassium ion moves out of the postsynaptic membrane, and if chloride channel opens, the chloride ion moves inside the postsynaptic membrane. That is, both will cause a negative membrane potential inside the membrane, and these also can get summated and can causes more and more inhibition, and this also has both spatial and temporal summation. Apart from this, excitatory and inhibitory also can get summated. So अगर चार इस पे excited चार synapses पे excitatory stimulus हो गया और 3 इस पे inhibitory stimulus हो गया, तो resultant will be one synapse will be excited. So this is how it will get summated. Simple arithmetic summations की तरह it get summated. And so inhibitory is also important and excitatory also very important. Are you agree or not? Inhibition जरूरी है कि नहीं?
Sir, agree है. जरूरी है. Without then transmission will not occur.
The transmission can occur, but if there is no inhibition, what will happen?
Inhibition not occur, then calcium gate and potassium gates will not open, and temporal summation also not occur.
If there is no inhibition, the your whatever signal transmitted in your body will keep on getting amplified at each level, and that can cause keep on exciting your whole body. Okay,
Yes.
inhibition will countercheck that
Yeah.
excitation, so it actually modified the type of the signal and make it more precise and more accurate for your action. Like suppose this pen is put keep on this table. Now consider the mobile as a table, and suppose it put on this table, and I want to lift. So lifting and exactly holding this pen is possible because of simultaneously excitation and inhibition. अगर ये नहीं होता तो it
Yes,
can be
yes.
override or overshoot, and all those things occur because it is not counter checked by the simultaneous inhibition. So जैसा stimulation चाहिए उसके साथ साथ inhibition भी बहुत जरूरी है.
जरूरी है.
So both excitatory postsynaptic potential and inhibitory postsynaptic potential is very much important to execute your functions more accurately.
Accurate.
Okay. Then come to the what happened to the neurotransmitters. Once it release and it excite or inhibit the postsynaptic potential, then that neurotransmitter has to be removed from that site. If that doesn't happen, then it will keep on stimulating or inhibiting that particular synapses, and there will be continuous inhibition or continuous stimulation will occur. वो एक बार एक stimulus दे दिया और continuous stimulation होता रहेगा. So that doesn't occur because neurotransmitter usually removed from that site. So first and common type of the mechanism which can remove is with a flow. It causes slow diffusion of the neurotransmitter, and neurotransmitter will be washed out from the synaptic cleft, and it goes to the surrounding tissues, and then it absorbed by the blood or other cell, and then it degraded into the different cells nearby. That is the first mechanism through which the neurotransmitter is removed from the synaptic cleft. Second is enzymatic degradation. Like there is a acetylcholine stretch will be there, and that will split the acetylcholine into acetyl and choline, and that remove the action effect of the acetylcholine in postsynaptic membrane. Next mechanism is presynaptic membrane will reuptake the neurotransmitter. So there is active absorption of the neurotransmitter in the presynaptic membrane, and this is also it removes the good amount of the neurotransmitter from the synaptic cleft, and this is how it will reduce the duration of the effect of the neurotransmitter in postsynaptic membrane. Now, if this doesn't happen, what will happen? So उसका एक example आपको देखना है. So there are chemical which can block the activity of acetylcholine esterase. Pesticides पता है आपको? खेतों में यूज करते
Yes,
हैं.
sir. We kill the
Those
pest.
pesticides are very strong inhibitor of acetylcholine esterase. They permanently inhibit the acetylcholine esterase. So there will be inactivate, actually not inhibit, they inactivated the acetylcholine esterase. And that will create the exaggerated action of acetylcholine stimulus. So muscarinic action बहुत ज़्यादा उनमें बढ़ जाती है, and that can cause death of the individual because of there is no removal of the acetylcholine from the neurotransmitter. That is actual mechanism of causing death of that insecticide poisonings. Okay, so this is just example when if you can't remove the neurotransmitter, what can happen. We then come to the development of action potential in the synapses. As I said, it is usually occur because of the summation. So when enough number of the synapses get stimulated, and that dendrites will produce the different postsynaptic potential, excited postsynaptic potential, which is summated enough and can able to provide produce the spikes potential, then it can generate spike potential in axon heliac. Okay. Now, once summated by both it excited and inhibited neurotransmitter, and then it's slowly spread throughout the cell membrane. If it is of the receptors, then it occur in an initial segment. So first we are talking about the generation of the spike segment initial segment, and that will causes a large amount of the depolarization in the cell membrane, and that depolarization can go up to the firing level by summiting, and that can create a action potential that is called spike potential, or also called as the initial spikes. Once the initial spike generated, that initial spike will causes the propagation of the action potential, and this action potential travel from the initial segment to throughout the axon to the periphery and causes a nerve transmission or signal transmission from one cell to the other cell. समझ में आ रहा है?
जी सर.
जी सर बोल रहे हैं. एक मिनट.
नो सर, समझ में भी आ रहा है, इसीलिए जी सर बोल रहे हैं.
सो जैसे अभी यहाँ पे पूरा सेल है, इसको स्टिमुलेट किया, इसको स्टिमुलेट कर दिया, डिफरेंट न्यूरॉन स्टिमुलेट किया, and they all increases the membrane potential here. The integrated, some inhibited also. integrated, and if they goes to the firing level above the spike potential, they can goes and reach towards the initial segment of the axon, that is axon iliac. So they reach up to the axon iliac, and here they'll open the, why axon iliac is the only site where action potential generated and not other part of the body? MCQ आ सकता है इस पे.
Repeat, sir.
Why action potential generated only in the axon iliac and not in the body of the neuron?
Due to sodium channels, voltage gated sodium channels.
हाँ उसी से होता है, पर उसी में क्यों होता है, बाकी जगह पे क्यों नहीं होता?
सर पॉजिटिव फीडबैक होता है उसमें, क्योंकि ना वहाँ पे सोडियम चैनल्स भी हैं, तो देन क्लोराइड पोटाशियम नहीं आना है इसी वजह से.
The concentration
और
of the
क्लोराइड
voltage sodium channel is much higher in axon iliac as compared to rest of the body of the neurons. So न्यूरॉन के जो बॉडी में सोडियम वोल्टेज गेटेड सोडियम चैनल का होते हैं, but it is not up to that concentration that can generate action potential. They are very much highly concentrated in axon iliac, and that can generate action potential. So that's why action potential is always generated in initial segment, or we also call it the axon iliac. So जब भी action potential generate होगा यहाँ पे spikes potential generate होगा, it will travel throughout the body and come to the axon iliac and can generate the action potential. Once the action potential generated here, also called as the initial spike, once it generated, it can propagate throughout the axon, whether it is myelinated or unmyelinated, but it goes along the axon and can send it to the next cell. Okay? So this is how this action potential generated and propagated to the next cell. Now come to the inhibition of the synapse. As I said, excitation to hota hai, but simultaneously inhibition is also important. So there are different types of the inhibition. One is postsynaptic inhibition, presynaptic, feedback inhibition, and feed-forward inhibition. Postsynaptic is one of the commonest type of the inhibition. So it occurs either directly releasing the inhibitory neurotransmitter. Just for example, this is the body of the soma, and these are the different dendrites, and they attach to the different synapses. So यहाँ पे एक सिनेप्स है, यहाँ पे एक सिनेप्स है, यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे, यहाँ पे, यहाँ पे, यहाँ पे. Now there are these three dendrites are attached with this only one neuron. Okay, उसी के 3 axons के branches से वो synapse हो चुका है. Now this will be attached to the another neuron, this two, and this two also attached with the another neuron. Okay. Now, suppose this neuron is stimulated and it releases the excitatory neurotransmitter, and that will causes increase in membrane potential. Okay, but this is another B neuron is there, which is the inhibitory nature, and C neuron is also inhibitory nature. So now B neuron is also simultaneously stimulated, and it will causes negative stimulation, and C neuron is also causes negative stimulation. Now suppose in a system will stimulate only a neuron, there will be enough number of the neurotransmitter will release and enough amount of the membrane potential will generate, and that can causes a excitation in this neuron, and that action potential will generate and can transmit to the other neuron. Okay, समझ में आ रहा है? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Now, but
Absolutely, sir.
by
Getting
some
more interesting.
mechanism,
Sir, question. Sir, post-synaptic inhibition, also known as post-tendinic potential, or not?
समझा नहीं.
Because in one book I read that post-synaptic inhibition, also known as post-tendinic potential.
नहीं वो अलग है. उस पर आएंगे, उस पर बात करेंगे बाद में. ओके.
Okay, sir.
अभी ए न्यूरॉन को हमने स्टिमुलेट किया एंड इट विल प्रोड्यूस एक्शन पोटेंशियल इन अ रिसीविंग न्यूरॉन. ओके. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस बाय मैकेनिज्म इफ बी आल्सो स्टिमुलेटेड. ए जैसे स्टिमुलेट हो रहा है उसके साथ बी स्टिमुलेट हो रहा है. And now this B will inhibit and will not allow to generate the action potential. But in this condition, what will happen if we stimulate strongly repeatedly to the neuron, some action potential can generate. But suppose now we B and C also stimulate directly, it will cause more inhibition. So inhibition यहाँ पे नहीं हो रहा है, ये तो एक्टिविटी ही है. Inhibition क्या हो रहा है सिनेप्सिस के बाद में. And
Synapses में.
this is called post synaptic inhibition.
Post synaptic.
Okay, inhibition occur after synapses. And because of this inhibition, it can reduce the signal transmission. Suppose this A neuron has been stimulated here, and this A neuron also stimulate another similarly 4-5 different neuron synapses, and it's stimulated. And out of these 4-5 neurons, 2 or 3 neurons is inhibited by the B and C. So it will stimulate only 1 or 2 neurons. So amplification will not occur, and the amount of signal will be checked, and it will channelize only the direction we required, and not with the everywhere it goes. Okay, that is advantage of having postsynaptic inhibition. And this postsynaptic inhibition also causes an increase in refractory period. कभी हम पहले B और से stimulate कर दो, उसके बाद एक A से stimulate कर रहे हैं, it is already negatively charged, so it will might take little bit more time to transmit the signal from A neuron to the receiving neuron. So it also can increase the refractory period. Okay, and another mechanism is refractory period mechanism is suppose this is neuron and it's stimulated by the this is postsynaptic membrane and it is stimulated by the presynaptic membrane. Neurotransmitters आ गए और यहाँ पे इसका excitation हो गया. Now when subsequent stimulus we want to give and then neurotransmitter release, almost all receptors are already occupied by the previous neurotransmitter, and that not allow this receptor to respond to the subsequent stimulus. So it also becomes refractory, and this is also one of the example of postsynaptic inhibition. Okay, the same neuron may, because of its own stimulus also, it causes little bit longer refractory period, and that leads to postsynaptic inhibition. Then come to the presynaptic inhibition. Here it is also occur usually in exoaxonic synapses, where if you see this is normal synapses, but here the additional neuron is synapted to the axon just before the synapses. A, B के synapse से पहले C neuron also synapses with the axon, and this is called exoaxonic synapses. And this you can see in a pain gate mechanism. जब हम और natural analgesia of system of our body. So जब भी आपको pain होता है, तो sometimes आप उस पे बाम लगा देते हो, or sometimes you press it very tightly, and that helps you to relieve your pain. And this because of this mechanism only this occur. So one stimulus coming through the A, at the same time another stimulus come through the C, and C come much faster, and it synapses with the A before coming to the another signal. And these C receptors will release the neurotransmitter, and that will increase the opening of the calcium channels, and that will actually causes a decreased membrane potential of the presynaptic membrane. That decreased membrane potential of the presynaptic membrane will not allow the presynaptic membrane to depolarize. And if presynaptic membrane is not get depolarized, it will not able to causes opening of voltage gated calcium channel, and there will be not release of the uh, neurotransmitter, or very less release of the neurotransmitter. And this mechanism is called presynaptic uh, inhibition. Another mechanism is either activate the G protein in a presynaptic terminals, and that can either cause opening of the potassium channel, and that again reduce the memory potential, or it can cause blocking of the calcium channel. So even if the action potential generated in a presynaptic membrane, it will not open enough number of the calcium channels, and that will also again reduce the less release of less amount of the um, neurotransmitter, and this is how it get inhibited. And this is one of the best example is a relief of the pain. जब भी आप प्रेशर लगाते हो काउंटर इरिटेंट लगाते हो, that transmitted through the another neurons, like here we can call it like a C fiber, and it inhibit the neurons which transmit the pain, and it doesn't allow the pain to go to the body, and that can relieve our pain. Okay. Then another is a feedback mechanism, also called as the Renshaw cells inhibition, and this is usually seen in a spinal cord, where whenever any excitation of the muscle occur, and it started causing activity of the muscle, and it so this is alpha motor neuron which stimulated, and when we excitatory stimulus comes from the higher centers, and it activates the motor nerve. So it stimulates the motor nerve, at the same time simultaneously it sends another branch to the another neuron which is present in the spinal cord. That neuron is called Renshaw cells, and it stimulates that neuron also, and this neuron will causes inhibition of the same neuron immediately, and also causes the inhibition of the another neuron, and we send it back to the brain. And this neuron usually can inhibit the antagonist muscle also, and also sometimes surrounding muscles also, so that a very precise action will be occurring. So it check the excitation of the neuron. So जैसे मैंने अभी मुझे मसल फ्लेक्स करना है, तो फ्लेक्स करने का इम्पल्स गया, पहले इम्पल्स चला गया, इम्पल्स ट्रांसमिटेड, but after that another impulse will go, and that will inhibit. So that amount of the contraction will limit it for that limited duration, for a very small duration, and this is how it will be immediately inhibit. So the duration of the excitation of that particular neuron will be keep for very short duration. So आपकी muscles continuously excited नहीं रहेगी, and this will help you for very fine coordinated motor activity. Okay, by this ratio. So it limited the excitation of the motor neuron. Same times inhibiting for another cells, this will also causes the inhibition of the agonist muscle. So when I make flexion, inhibition of the extension will occur. So extensor muscle will be relaxed. Okay, and this is called feedback inhibition mechanism. MCQ आ सकता है, Renshaw cell inhibition is an example of, then you can call it a feedback mechanism. Then another is feed-forward inhibition, that is usually seen in a cerebellum. Feed-forward inhibition, it can be whenever the stimulus occurs. Now this is a mossy fibers. So whenever there are any motor activity we are performing, then mossy fibers get impulses from the brain, and it sends to the cerebellum, and in cerebellum they stimulate the granular cells, and also simultaneously Golgi cells, and it causes both excitation of the both cell. This granular cell send the impulses in with the parallel fibers throughout the cell, and causes excitation of the basket cells and also Purkinje cell, and it also causes the excitation of the Golgi cells. But this which stimulate the Golgi cell will causes Golgi cells will send negative inhibition, and it's immediately causes the inhibition of the granular cell. And at the same time, these fibers also send to the parallel fibers and causes the inhibition of these parallel fibers. So before impulse goes to the basket cell and Purkinje cells, this parallel fiber will get inhibited, and this is called feed forward inhibition of the cell. So हम लोग पहले inhibit होते हैं. Now you see the basket cell will, if get inhibited, that will reduce the inhibition of the Purkinje cells. At the same time, it also get excited, and then finally inhibitory impulse will goes and causes the inhibition of the muscles, which is supposed to not contract. तो this
सर
is
बास्केट
बता
सेल्स कौन से होते हैं और Purkinje सेल कौन से होते हैं?
क्या क्या क्या
बास्केट सेल्स क्या होते हैं और ये जो
These are
Purkinje
basket cells are
सेल?
wait, actually these are the different layers in the cerebellum. And do you know what is the function of cerebellum?
सेरिबेलम?
Cerebellum. Cerebrum नहीं, cerebellum.
सेरिबेलम सेरिबेलम ब्रेन में प्रेजेंट होता है,
इक्विलिब्रियम मेंटेन
बैक ऑफ द ब्रेन में,
हम्म.
और अ, और जो इंफॉर्मेशन है उनको स्पाइनल कॉर्ड्स तक पहुंचाता है.
इक्विलिब्रियम बैलेंस मेंटेन करता है.
बैलेंस मेंटेन करता है, इक्विलिब्रियम मेंटेन करता है,
और सर ये कम्युनिकेशन जॉइंट है बिटवीन ब्रेन एंड स्पाइनल कॉर्ड.
अभी जो मेरा हाथ स्टडी दिख रहा है, हाथ एकदम क्वाइट है, इट ऑकर बिकॉज
Yes,
ऑफ
sir.
cerebellum. अगर cerebellum नहीं होगा तो इट विल बी लाइक दिस. ओके,
ओके सर, बॉडी पोस्चर को मेंटेन करता है.
major function is to execute motor activity more precisely. It work as a surveillance and keep on correcting the motion when it is in action. जैसे अभी मैं किसी को हम हिट कर रहे हैं, also मुझे कैचिंग बॉल,
बैलेंस मेंटेन.
बैलेंस इट इज नॉट वेरी सिंपल. इतना नहीं है किसी वो बैलेंस मेंटेन कर रहा है. ओके, वो अलग फंक्शन है बैलेंस मेंटेन करने के लिए, और भी बहुत सारे सिस्टम है. बट जो अभी जो मैं ये सिस्टम बता रहा हूँ, ये जो सारा बता रहा हूँ ना, इसका बता रहा हूँ. Now suppose you are catching a ball. ओके, तो बॉल को देख रहे हो और आप कैच कर रहे हो, हवा चल रही है, आपने डिसाइड किया बॉल यहाँ पे इतना सामने मेरे पास आने वाला है, मुझे यहाँ पे बॉल पकड़ना है, हवा चल रही है, बॉल इधर गया, तो यू विल ऑटोमेटिकली मूव ऑन दिस साइड जस्ट बाय योर सेंसरी इनपुट. ओके, सो आपकी एक्शन तो इधर की थी, पर दिस करेक्शंस ऑकर by getting the sensory input from the different part of the body, and that corrections during the action is done by the cerebellum. समझ में आ रहा है?
जी सर.
Suppose someone आपके किसी से झगड़ा हो रहा है, someone want to hit you or you want to hit someone. आपने उसको मुंह पे मुक्का मारने के लिए जा रहे हो, उसने मुंह साइड में किया, तो एक्सटेंड योर आर्म. ब्रेन का ऑर्डर तो यहाँ तक ही था, क्योंकि तब ब्रेन ने देखा था मुंह यहाँ पे था, उसने जैसे पीछे किया, यू विल एक्सटेंड योर आर्म. दैट एक्सटेंशन ऑकर बिकॉज ऑफ cerebellum. Cerebellum will keep continuous surveillance and try to execute your actions as per intended. Okay, जो दिया हुआ है एक्शन वैसा नहीं है, इंटेंटेड. जो मुझे मेरा मोबाइल उठाना है, ये मेरा इंटेंशन है, तो अगर मोबाइल मूव भी हो रहा है तो मैं उसके हिसाब से अपनी मूवमेंट एडजस्ट करूंगा, एंड आई विल try to lift the mobile, or I will try to catch the ball, or I will try to catch someone who is running, and all those things with that intention that all these corrections occur with respect to changing the situations that occur because of the cerebellum. Second thing, another important function of cerebellum is very precise action. जैसे मैंने अभी बताया थोड़ी देर पहले, पेन है, उसको उठाना है, तो मुझे यहाँ पे उठाना है, तो मैं बराबर यहाँ पे पकड़ के उठा लूंगा, and that preciseness of the action will occur. उससे ज्यादा एक्साइटमेंट नहीं होगा, उससे कम स्टिमुलेशन नहीं होगा. इट विल बी एग्जैक्टली विद दिस स्टिमुलेशन, दैट preciseness of the action is done by the cerebellum, and this preciseness occur by this mechanism. Even if you stimulate complete motor system, it is automatic system. ये motor system से मोजी फाइबर से इनपुट आ रहा है. ओके, अभी इसमें ध्यान में रखो, मोजी फाइबर से इनपुट आ रहा है फ्रॉम मोटर कॉर्टेक्स. मोटर कॉर्टेक्स सेंड्स इम्पल्स टू द मोजी फाइबर्स एंड इट गोज टू द ब्रेन. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस इट आल्सो गेट इनपुट फ्रॉम द स्पाइनल कॉर्ड, जो मसल्स एक्शन हो रही है, सब हो रही है, उससे भी इनपुट आ रहा है. एंड दैट इनपुट कम हेयर एंड इट विल सी द, जो मोटर कॉर्टेक्स ने जो बताया है वही वो हो रहा है कि नहीं. एंड दिस ऑन इट्स ओन, इसको कोई और स्टिमुलेशन नहीं लगता है. मोमेंट इट स्टिमुलेट मोजी फाइबर्स, immediately will send inhibition and that will short the duration of the motor actions. Precise and for small duration, very time precisely actions जो करता है मोटर का, it occur because of this cerebellum. तो वो कैसे होता है? तो there are 3-4 cells. अब अभी ध्यान में रखना, पहले हम ग्रैनुलर सेल्स बात करेंगे, गोल्जी सेल्स. और जो मोजी फाइबर्स आएगा, देयर मोजी फाइबर्स आर स्टिमुलेटरी. ओके, सो इट स्टिमुलेट ग्रैनुलर सेल एंड इट आल्सो स्टिमुलेट गोल्जी सेल्स. सो आपका ग्रैनुलर सेल सबसे पहले स्टिमुलेट हो गया, दैट सेंड्स एक्साइटेशन. ओके, and at the same time, sorry, not this granular cell will get sent excitation and it goes to the parallel fibers towards the motor cortex. At the same time, this Mosey fibers also stimulate the Golgi cells, and that usually causes inhibition of the granular cell and also causes inhibition of parallel cells. Okay, so parallel cell now एक बार stimulate हो गया, एक बार inhibit हो गया. At the same time, these Golgi cells also causes a excitation of the basket cell, which causes the inhibition of the Purkinje cells. But at the same time, it also causes excitation of the Purkinje cell. So same Golgi granule cell causes excitation of the basket cell and excitation of the Purkinje cells. तो Purkinje cells excite होना चाहिए. It will excite. इसमें सिनेप्टिक डिले है, यहाँ पे एक और सिनेप्सिस है, एक्साइट हुआ और immediately it get inhibited. समझ में आ रहा है? Concentrate only on ए भूल जाओ इधर का. Concentrate only on Purkinje cells, which is the output. समझ में आ रहा है क्या?
सर समझ नहीं आया. नहीं
Okay.
सर.
Granular cell हमने stimulate किया. Granular cell, that same granular cell will stimulate basket cell also and Purkinje cells also. Okay. Basket cell is inhibited to the Purkinje cells. तो जैसे हमने granular cell excite किया, it excites the Purkinje cells. बट एक्साइट हो गया, उसके फ्रैक्शन ऑफ सेकंड में बास्केट सेल्स का भी एक्शन चला गया, क्योंकि देयर इज वन मोर सिनेप्सिस, सो इट विल बी लिटिल बिट स्लोअर टू गो टू रीच टू द Purkinje cells. So Purkinje cell excite हो गया, immediately it get inhibited. So excitement of the that motor fiber or output which coming through the this from the cerebellum will be stay for only fraction of second for very small duration, and that occur because of this feed forward inhibition done by the basket cell. अब समझ में आ रहा है? Same mechanism, excite also and inhibit also.
जी सर.
And because of this availability of for very small duration of the excitation, cerebellum could able to do more precise and accurate motor action and correct the motor actions. Okay. Now, what is the significance of inhibition? As हमने पहले भी इसके बारे में बात किया, it will restrict the overstimulation of the neurons and muscles and help us to produce a proper required intended signal transmission from one point to the other point. Excessive transmission नहीं होने देता है. Okay, that is what of the synaptic inhibition. Can we take a 5 minutes break?
Sure, sir.
ये प्रॉपर्टीज आप लिख लो, स्क्रीनशॉट लेना स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो. ओके, मैं 2 मिनट्स में आया हूँ.
ओके सर.
ओके, किसी ने मुझे मैसेज किया कि वो रीनेम नहीं कर पा रहा अपने आप को। मैंने अभी अलाउ कर दिया, नाउ यू कैन डू। Okay, so now properties. These are 13 properties. Out of these, first 10 or 11 or more, last only the effect of apoxia. So one-way conduction, synaptic delay, summation, conversion, divergence, occlusion phenomena, subminimal fringe, facilitation, synaptic fatigue, synaptic plasticity, reverberation, reciprocal inhibition after discharge, and effect of hypoxia and acidosis. So first we'll talk about a one-way conduction. So in chemical synapses, it is always conducted from presynaptic membrane to postsynaptic membrane because presynaptic membrane has a neurotransmitters which release the neurotransmitter, while postsynaptic membrane has a receptor. So postsynaptic membrane can't release the neurotransmitter, and presynaptic membrane doesn't have receptor for this. And this law is called Bell-Magendy's law or dynamic polarity. Okay. Significance. So signal can transmit only from one direction to other direction, so that we can channelize the signal transmission. So there will be a proper way of conduction in one direction only. Then come to synaptic delay. Synaptic delay, there is approximately 0.5 millisecond delay between the transmission of the signal from one presynaptic membrane to the postsynaptic membrane, and it occurs because of the various metabolic process required for transmission of the signal from one synapse to the other synapse. मेरा वीडियो नहीं दिख रहा क्या? हेलो,
दिख रहा है सर।
नहीं सर सही है.
सॉरी दिख रहा है. So it is what I'm talking. Series of neurotransmitter will take little bit more time. Action potential हो गया, action potential के बाद calcium voltage-gated calcium channels open हो गए, calcium enter, and it causes exocytosis of the neurotransmitter. Then diffusion of the neurotransmitter through the synaptic cleft will also take little bit more time. Please don't make noise. Then once receptor binds to the postsynaptic membrane, it will take time to open the ion channels and enter of the ion channel and can cause changes in the postsynaptic potential. So it can be excitatory postsynaptic potential or inhibitory. So all this process will take little bit more time, and that is why it causes a synaptic delay. Importance clinically is not more that important, but here we can estimate the number of receptors present in a number of synapses present in the any reflexes. Depend upon the number of synapses, we can describe the number of neurons involved in a particular reflex. That can be done by just knowing the synaptic time taken for the reflexes. Another thing, more is the synapses will be there, reflexes will be more longer. Less is the synapses, receptors will be short duration. Reflexes will have a short duration. Example, stretch reflex is a monosynaptic reflex. So it is very fast as compared to withdrawal reflex or posture other reflexes, which is contain many synapses. Then come to summations. It can be both temporal and spatial, and it can causes either excitation or inhibition of the finally into the generation of action potential or not generation of the action potential in a postsynaptic neurons. I'm not talking about the terminal or postsynaptic membrane, but it causes effect on postsynaptic neuron. It can be either multiple neurons stimulated, multiple synapses stimulated simultaneously, like in temporal summations, or same synapses stimulated at the same time repeatedly, then it is called temporal summation. Okay, and this helps us to either increase or decrease the neuronal activity. Then come to the convergence divergence phenomena. This is a very dramatic phenomena, and it either can increase the number of signals or it can decrease the number of signals. Convergence, when multiple sources of the multiple neurons synapses with the one neuron, and it will cause effective changes in that particular neuron, or more signal will come and converge to the one cell or one neuron. This can be seen in motor neurons. So motor neuron receives input from the motor cortex, basal ganglia, cerebellum, and other different neurons, and also it receives the impulses from the directly from the muscles. So the all signal will come and activate the motor neuron and decide the what action should be taken by the motor. And this is example of the convergence. So divergence, when one neuron synapse with the different many neurons. एक न्यूरॉन से सिग्नल जाता है, axon will synapse with the different neurons or different dendrites. So one signal can impulse and goes to the different part of the body, and it can activate the multiple systems of the body. Example, sensory neurons. When sensory neurons comes, that pain receptor goes not only to the sensory cortex but also goes to the presensory cortex, limbic system, hypothalamus, and it will have different effect on that. So it get amplify the signal, while convergence will uh, concise or reduce the signal. So that is the effect of convergence and divergence. Then come to the occlusion phenomena. Suppose occlusion phenomena, when the two neurons are stimulated separately, then they will excite the more neuron than they stimulated simultaneously. Okay, here we give you example. A neuron when stimulated alone, they will excite the 10 neurons, and here if B neuron is stimulated, they will excite the another 10 neurons. But when these both are stimulated simultaneously, in resultant will be there only 15 neurons. By arithmetic means it should be 20 neurons, but the resultant will be only 15 neurons will stimulated. This mechanism is called occlusion phenomenon. This occur because of overlapping signal transmitted to the common 5 neurons. So 5 neurons are synapses with the both A and B, and these are the common neurons which are stimulated by the A and B. That's why the resultant will be less. So it will be reduce the effect of the multiple stimulation, and it will converge or come back to the limited source of the neuron. This is called convergence. Opposite to that, this subliminal fringe. Here, the opposite will be there. When two neurons are separated differently, they will stimulate the less number of the neuron than simultaneously. Now, here what will happen? There are two zones, discharge zone and subliminal zone. So when a neuron stimulate, it activates the 5 different neurons, but simultaneously it will stimulate the another 2 neurons, but the stimulation to this another 2 neurons is at a substitutional level. It doesn't cause action potential in these 2 neurons. When B neurons stimulated, it causes excitation in the discharge zone, but it causes a just a subthreshold level of the stimulation to the subliminal zone, or we call it a subliminal fringe zone, and there also it causes a subthreshold. So this will not get excited when A neuron is stimulated or B neuron is stimulated. Just for sake of convenience, when A neuron is stimulated, 5 neurons get activated, while B neuron is stimulated, then again 5 neurons get activated. But when both neurons is stimulated, these neurons are subthresholdly stimulated by A and subthresholdly stimulated by B, and they will get summated, and that leads to excitation of these subliminal fringe zone neurons also. And now the resultant will be 12 or 15 neurons. So it will resultant output will be much higher than their individual output. This is called subliminal fringe, and these both occlusion phenomena and subliminal phenomena will help to either increase the activity or decrease the activity when stimulated neurons to simultaneously, and these are usually occur in the sensory areas uh, when how much area is stimulated, and this is how it will cause the intensity of the pain, or all those things can decide by this effect. Then come to the facilitation. Okay, this is last slide. अब इसका time खत्म हो जाएगा. Sometimes when neuron is stimulated repeatedly, it will evoke the action potential in a postsynaptic potential, and that can causes a by the previous stimulation, and when they stimulated subsequently, the transmission is much faster. This mechanism is called facilitation. Please stop talking. So this mechanism is called facilitation. The facilitation occurs because of effect of previous action potential, that is opening of voltage gated calcium channel. Calcium channel already remain into the cytoplasm of the presynaptic terminal. And when second action potential comes, the concentration of cytoplasm calcium will be much higher. So more neurotransmitter will be released in subsequent stimulus. This is called facilitation. Okay. Then synaptic fatigue. It is okay. Up to this, I guess we should stop here. Any questions? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Then you can go and read this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.